Today's project is to show you a process that I go through as a do-it-yourselfer, for one, and number two is improvising for tools. So today's project is removing this stile, this median stile from the cabinet so that we have more access. It's just inhibitive. Now, one of the first things that I think through is, well, is this a support member? Is this providing support? And if I remove it, it's going to cause a problem with my cabinet. Well, first thing to check are the shelves. They are not connected to this stile at all, neither shelf. So it's not providing support for the shelves. Another question is it providing support for the bottom shelf because it connects from the top to the bottom? On a previous one, I have already removed this, and there was no sag in this lower shelf. So if this was providing some kind of support, once you removed it, you would see sag. There is no sag. One reason for that is that this thickness of this lower support is, the more thickness you have, the limited amount of sag you'll have. So that's adding the support, providing the support as well. The next issue I ran into was a tool. So this one used pocket screws in the back. There's two pocket screws rather. And I put my Phillips screwdriver behind there and started to try to remove them, and it wasn't working. So I didn't know what was going on. So I used my phone, came behind, and took a picture of the top of the screw and saw that it was a square screw. Now, I don't have a screwdriver with that type of head, so I had to go figure out what to do next, and I will show that now. So this is what I came up with. I have a lot of tools, but I don't always have the right tool. And I didn't want to go to the hardware store to buy yet another tool that I'd probably only use one time or very few times. So I do have this set of different types of heads, bits that you can use for various things. And I happen to have a square one. I took a picture of the screw head and determined that it was square. And then I also had problems. I tried mounting it to this screwdriver through here, but it was still too thick. This piece was too thick to fit in the pocket for the pocket screw. So I eventually came up with this, putting this together with all my tools. And then it allowed me the flexibility to bend and move around and fit in there. So doing that, I was able to remove the screws. And here's what they look like. So I'm going to remove that upper set of screws on the stile, and then you'll see the finished product. Okay, that took about 15 minutes total to get the screws out, but I did, and here's the final product. I shouldn't say final because I'll have to do a little touch up with some paint, buy some paint, and get some touch up there, which I have the code for the paint, but removing it will make it much more accessible. So one other issue when you remove that median stile is that you'll notice there's a gap. You can see the shelves through that gap. But what's interesting is over here, this one does not come with a stile installed. And when the doors are closed, you can't, because the gap is smaller, at least half. So what you can do, you can adjust these doors with the screw here. I'll rotate that. It will move them in just a little bit. That will improve this gap by quite a bit. I think I could get close to half. And if I need to do more, then I can always add inserts. Well, thank goodness it's a Phillips head. Let me get close enough to see if you can see it moving. That's moving it away. And clockwise is moving it closer. And it seems that's the closest that they're going to come. Let's see about this side. It's like the same thing here. Okay, so that means for me to get these closer, I'll need to get some shims.